Labour's triple whammy on farmers. As if the inheritance tax grab wasn't enough, and now the land grab announced by Rayner. They've now taken away subsidies from farmers which were used as part of a green farming scheme. So basically farmers use part of their land and they turn it into de facto nature reserves. They're for the good of nature, for the good of the countryside. They contain, for example, wild pastures. They have lots of wildlife in them, nesting habitat for different animals, and feed is also provided for these animals living in those areas. To me, it sounds like a very good idea, but Labour, overnight, between Tuesday and Wednesday, paused this scheme without talking to anybody. Not the NFU, they didn't talk to the farmers, they didn't speak to anybody, they just paused the scheme. This scheme is funded by the British taxpayer, and it's not a bad thing to fund, I don't think. In the past, it has been funded by the EU. And now Labour have decided it's a great way, now we're out of the EU, they're going to use those powers to destroy farmers instead. The NFU president, Tom Bradshaw, said this is another shattering blow to UK farms, delivering yet again with no warning, no understanding of the industry, and a complete lack of compassion or care. Where's all this money going? They're destroying farms to fund Ed Miliband's ego, to fund carbon capture, to fund more and more solar panels and wind turbines all over the place that don't work anyway and will not provide us with enough energy to sustain ourselves. It seems that Steve Reid has had enough now of defending this government, so instead they sent out the Minister for Food and Rural Affairs, Daniel Zagner. This guy, representing Labour, said, "This government is proud to have set the biggest budget for sustainable food produce in history to boost growth in rural communities and across all the UK under our plan for change. More farmers are now in schemes and more money is being spent through them than ever before. This is true today and will remain true tomorrow." So they think by putting a few extra billion quid in and then taking away these farmers' livelihoods, taking away any chance their children have of taking over these farms, taking their land off them, and then destroying wildlife habitats, that's good for rural affairs. That's good for the rural community. Very telling that Steve Reid wasn't the one to give this statement, isn't it? Maybe he's sick of being hated by everybody outside of the M25.